Everyone tells you to think positive, visualize wealth, manifest abundance. But here's what nobody tells you. The real problem isn't that you don't think rich, it's that you've been trained to think poor. And that training isn't coming from your bank account. It's coming from somewhere much deeper. Let me show you how the scarcity mindset works and why it's the most profitable trap ever engineered. Meet Alex, 29 years old, $52,000 a year, marketing coordinator. On paper, Alex is doing okay. Not rich, not broke, middle class. But here's the paradox. Alex makes more money than their parents ever did at the same age, adjusted for inflation. More income, more opportunity, more access. But Alex feels poorer than their parents ever looked. And the math reveals why. Alex's annual income, $52,000. Monthly gross, $4,333. After taxes, $3,200. Rent for a one-bedroom, $1,400. Student loan payment, $380. Car payment, $295. Car insurance, $160. Health insurance, $180. Phone, $85. Internet, $70. Utilities, $110. Groceries, $350. That's $3,030 before a single dollar goes to savings, entertainment, clothing, or emergencies. That leaves $170 per month. That's $5.67 per day of discretionary income. Less than a coffee and a sandwich. Alex looks at that number and thinks, I need to be more careful. I need to save more. I need to spend less. I am not doing enough. That exact thought, is the trap. Because scarcity mindset isn't about how much money you have, it's about how you think when you believe resources are limited. When your brain perceives scarcity, whether real or imagined, it activates your amygdala, your stress response, your survival mode. And in survival mode, your brain does something fascinating. It gets dumber. Not metaphorically, literally. Princeton researchers Sendil Mullainathan and Eldar Shafir measured this. They called it bandwidth tax. When you're worried about money, your effective IQ drops by 13 to 14 points. That's the difference between average and gifted. That's the difference between making smart long-term decisions and making desperate short-term choices. Your brain, under financial stress, performs as if you slept 1 hour or you're moderately intoxicated, and you're making all your financial decisions in that state. But scarcity mindset doesn't just make you think poorly, it makes you act poorly. Alex needs new work shoes. The current pair has holes. Professional appearance matters. 2 choices, $40 shoes lasting 4 months, or $120 quality shoes lasting 3 years. The math is obvious. The $120 shoes cost $3.33 per month over their lifetime. The $40 shoes cost $10 per month. The expensive shoes are 3 times cheaper in the long run. But Alex doesn't have $120 in discretionary income. Alex has $170 for the entire month, and there's a car insurance payment due, and groceries are running low. So Alex buys the $40 shoes. Not because Alex is stupid, not because Alex can't do math, but because scarcity mindset forces short-term optimization. The decision that feels necessary in the moment is the decision that costs 3 times more over time. This is the Boots theory of socioeconomic unfairness. Cheap shoes wear out faster. Cheap food makes you sick. Cheap cars break down more. Being poor, or thinking poor, is expensive. And scarcity mindset is contagious. 4 months later, shoes need replacing. Another $40. Meanwhile, the car broke down. Repair? $850. Credit card at 22.99% interest, that's $195 in interest over the next year on minimum payments. But Alex can't pay more than minimum because discretionary income is still $170. Shoes need replacing again, and the bandwidth tax keeps getting worse. Scarcity mindset doesn't just cost money, it costs cognitive capacity. It costs the very thing you need most to escape, clear thinking. And the system depends on this. The scarcity mindset isn't natural. It's taught through price architecture. Walk into any store. 3 tiers: cheap, medium, expensive. The cheap option is designed to fail. The expensive option is designed to intimidate. The medium option is designed to sell. This is decoy pricing. Every purchase, every price tag trains your brain to think in terms of limitation rather than value. Banks do it, insurance companies do it, employers do it. The entire system keeps you in scarcity thinking because scarcity thinking is profitable. When you think scarcity, you make short-term decisions. Short-term decisions are more expensive. More expensive decisions require more income. More income requires more work. More work requires more consumption to cope with stress. More consumption creates more scarcity. The loop is perfect. You work to earn, You earn to spend, you spend to cope. You cope to work. The system doesn't want you to break free. The system wants you to keep running. And here's where it gets truly dark. The people who designed this system, they don't think this way. Let me show you the contrast. When Alex needs shoes, Alex thinks, how cheap can I go? A wealthy person thinks, what's the cost per wear? Alex buys $40 shoes 4 times a year, $160. The wealthy person buys $300 shoes every 5 years, $60 per year, less than half, better shoes. When Alex faces an $850 repair, credit card. A wealthy person, already budgeted, Alex pays 23% more for the exact same repair. When Alex sees a $1,500 certification, I can't afford that. A wealthy person, what's the ROI? Alex stays at $52,000. The wealthy person invests, increases income to $60,000, makes it back in 4 months, keeps the extra $8,000 per year forever. Scarcity mindset costs you money, opportunity, and growth. And that's exactly what it was designed to do. But it's not permanent. It's a learned behavior, and anything learned can be unlearned. Meet Jordan, 27 years old. 3 years ago, Jordan was exactly where Alex is now. $48,000 salary, $130 in discretionary income per month, drowning in scarcity thinking, buying cheap shoes, putting car repairs on credit cards, skipping opportunities because I can't afford that right now. Classic scarcity trap. But Jordan did something different. Jordan didn't try to think positive. Jordan didn't try to manifest abundance. Jordan changed exactly 3 things. And in 3 years, Jordan went from $48,000 in income and $3,200 in credit card debt to $68,000 in income, 0 debt, and $22,000 in investments. Not because Jordan got lucky, because Jordan systematically replaced scarcity thinking with value thinking. Here's exactly what Jordan did. Move 1. Jordan stopped asking, can I afford this? And started asking, what's the cost per use? Lifetime value instead of sticker price. Within 6 months, monthly expenses dropped $85. That's $1,020 per year. Not by spending less, by thinking differently. Move 2. Jordan created what behavioral economists call a pre-commitment device. Every month, on payday, before paying bills, before buying anything, Jordan moved $100 into a separate account labeled Opportunity Fund. Not Emergency Fund, Opportunity Fund. Emergencies trigger scarcity thinking, opportunities trigger abundance thinking. The language matters. The framing matters. Within 18 months, that fund had $1,800. When a professional certification came up that cost $1,500 and promised higher income, Jordan didn't think, I can't afford this. Jordan thought, I already saved for this. Jordan took the certification. Income increased from $48,000 to $61,000 within 9 months. Return on investment, 867%. Scarcity thinking would have said no. Value thinking said yes. Move 3. Jordan tracked decisions, not just money. Every scarcity-based urge got written down. Within 3 months, a pattern emerged. 70% of scarcity decisions happened on Sundays during weekly planning. Jordan wasn't broke. Jordan was stressed. Moved planning to Saturday mornings. Scarcity decisions dropped 40%. The bank account didn't change. The mindset changed. The results changed. These aren't magic tricks. These are mathematical reframes. Jordan escaped scarcity thinking through systematic value optimization. The scarcity mindset survives because it feels true. $170 in discretionary income? It feels true. You can't afford $120 shoes. $850 in repairs? It feels true. You need a credit card. But feelings aren't facts. Feelings are frameworks, and frameworks can be changed. The real question isn't whether you can afford something. It's, what does this cost over time? What does this enable? What does this compound into? Scarcity asks, what's the price? Abundance asks, what's the value? Same decision. Different question, different outcome. You don't need to be rich to think this way. Jordan wasn't rich. Jordan was broke. But Jordan stopped thinking broke. And that shift, that single shift from scarcity to value, changed everything. Because once you start seeing cost per use instead of sticker price, once you start seeing opportunities instead of emergencies, once you start optimizing for lifetime value instead of immediate affordability, you're no longer playing the game the system designed. You're playing a different game, a game where the math works in your favor instead of against you. It's not magic, it's mathematics. It's not manifesting, it's reframing. And it works because scarcity isn't a fact about your bank account. Scarcity is a story your brain tells when it's in survival mode. Change the story, change the mode, change the outcome. You're not behind because you think poor. You're learning to think differently. And that's exactly where every person who breaks free starts. Not with more money, with better questions, not with abundance, with clarity. The system trained you to think in terms of limitation. You can train yourself to think in terms of value. The math is on your side. The question is, are you ready to use it?